Dr. NGR Educational and Research Institute, University, Madurai, Chennai.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to one and all present here for this international webinar. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. I'm Ms. Nadine Kuti, Teaching Assistant at Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute. Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute is one of the leading institutions in Tamil Nadu. Today's webinar is on the topic fashion branding. And today's topic is presented by Ms. Vandana, founder, CEO, Evanna Fashion House, Singapore. Now, I welcome upon Mrs. Ahmada Begum, Head of the Fashion Design Department, to announce the welcome address.
Thank you, Ms. Nandini Kuti. Good evening to one and all present here. I feel honored to welcome the gathering for this international webinar on the topic fashion branding. On this account of this event, I take great pride to welcome our founder Chancellor A.C. Shanmugam and our beloved President Engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar for the encouragement and motivation in organizing this webinar. I heartily welcome our Vice President Dr. M.K. Padmanabhan and our Vice Chancellor Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi for their support. I would also like to welcome our eminent Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Ravichandran, our Provost Dr. G. Gopalakrishnan and our Registrar Dr. C.B. Palanivedu. I would also like to render a warm welcome to our Joint Registrar HNS Dr. Malini Pandey. I am delighted to welcome our Joint Registrar Dr. S. Ramalingam, our Dean S. Manivannan and our Deputy Dean Dr. V.N. Rajavarman for their motivation and support for conducting this international webinar. I would also like to welcome Mr. Nadeem, Director Institute of Design and all the heads and staff members of our institution. My heartiest welcome to the resource person for today's webinar, Ms. Vandana, Founder, CEO of Evanna Fashion House, Singapore. We welcome you, ma'am. On behalf of the Department of Fashion Design, Adiyalampattu Phase 2 campus, I would like to welcome my beloved participants from various parts of the world who have joined today for this webinar. I hope everyone will have a great knowledge about fashion branding at the end of the session. Dear participants, an announcement regarding the feedback link which will be provided at the end of this session. You can post your queries in the chat box and it will be clarified during the questionnaire session. I welcome you all once again for this webinar and hope that you will have a great time ahead. Thank you one and all.
It was indeed a very pleasing addressing given by you, ma'am. Now, I welcome upon Mr. Nadeem, Director of IOD, Chennai, to introduce about our chief guest.
Good evening, one and all. Okay, I'm very honored to introduce a good friend of mine, Ms. Vandana Evanna, the founder and the fashion designer of Evanna Fashion House. She is based out of Singapore and she's been recognized as a wonderful lady in the fashion field. And right now, she's expertise in fashion merchandising, designing, and I'm happy to inform you that she is the Asian Lady of Excellence Award winner and Asia Pacific Golden Brand Award winner for a responsible in getting the Indian fashion and international fashion and bohemian fashion jewelry, and plus she is into a lot of eco fashion brands. She has been launched a company in 2011. She has participated in various trade shows and fashion shows all over the world, and she has been a part of Miami Fashion Week, Mercedes Fashion Week in Australia, and World Fashion Week in Malaysia, and Asian Lifestyle and Fashion Week in Singapore, and plus our Indian Jaipur couture show. She's been interviewed by various news TV channels, newspapers, articles, and magazines, and she's been a motivation for a lot of fashion designers in India and abroad. And basically, she's based out of Singapore, and she is well versed in the Asian fashion also. And right now, had been authored a book called Mode La Fashion and Style Icon. This book is launched in 3 locations: one in Delhi, next in Jaipur, and then in Singapore. So, welcome you all to this show of international fashion, and I hope you will be able to understand and appreciate the branding and the expertise and experience of Ms. Vandana. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful introduction given by you. Now we welcome you, ma'am, on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this show, Mr. Nadeem and MGR Institute. I'm humbled to be here. And I'm very thankful that I got this opportunity to share my knowledge to all the students of your institute. And as Mr. Nadeem has mentioned that I have written a book on fashion, this is the book that I would like to show. This is very beneficial for all the designers who want to start their own business, anybody who wants to start their own business, because in that all the designers, how they have established themselves from beginning to end, it's all mentioned in this book. And you can introduce this book in your institute as well. It will be very beneficial for them. Now I will explain how to make our clients trust the brand. 14 main points I'm going to share with you is: tell your story, be honest and transparent, know your target audience, share reviews, ask for feedback, create a loyalty program, get your social media ducks in a row, create and share video testimonials, put a face to the name, offer great customer service, build a reputation, share best practices, be contactable, build social proof. Now let's talk about how to create a logo for communicating the brand. First is know your brand. Know your target audience. Research your competition. Decide which kind of logo to use. Know where your logo will be displayed. The next is balance timelessness and flexibility. So what is know your brand? Great brand logos communicate your business's personality and represent a promise of quality to your customers. You need to make sure you know exactly what your company stands for before designing your logo. To do this, the first thing you need to do is answer a few questions about your business. These questions are: who are you? What is your company's mission? What do you want your company to stand for? Are you experienced and reliable? What are the benefits and features of your products or services? Are you high cost, high quality, or low cost, high value? What do customers or prospects already think of you? What qualities do you want prospects to associate with your company? The answers to these questions will guide you in creating a good logo design. So look at your answers and make sure they are reflective and what you want your business, small business, to be. A perfect logo should have main qualities. First is clearly represent the company. Second, be easily recognizable. Third, be timeless yet current. Fourth, be simple. So now we will talk about know your target audience. Who is this logo for? And how will your potential customers respond to certain logos? Determining your target audience provides insight into the direction for your logo design ideas. Color preferences. It never hurts to ask your loyal customers what they prefer as you are designing your brand. Interests. If your logo reflects an interest that the audience shares, it will be easier to draw them in. Research your competition. Universal icons. If you use universal icons as part of your logo, customers will have an easier time recognizing what type of business you run. If you have a fashion store, for example, I would recommend using the image of a scissor, a sewing machine, or a model picture. Even though your competitors may already have that universal icon, it goes a long way to build trust with your customers. Invoking emotion. Don't forget to invoke an emotion of some sort. Excitement and hope are good emotions to try to bring out of your customers. Branded versus unbranded. Finally, keep in mind that people often prefer using products and services that are branded. Branded products are things like Coke or Pepsi as opposed to just generic soda. People will pay more for the branded product rather than the unbranded. Why? Because the brand is something they trust. Decide which kind of logo to use. Logos with company names automatically register brand recognition. Your name is right there, front and center, for the world to see. Going with a name logo might be your best option, especially if you are a small business. Small businesses should focus on name brand more than anything else. Putting your name as your logo makes it impossible for people not to know, at the very least, what your business is called. Colors. Simple colors often work better than bold, flashy hues. Keep this in mind when you are choosing your selection of colors. You want to limit yourself to no more than three colors for your logo. Otherwise, the logo can become overwhelming on the eye. If you are unsure about whether your colors clash, look at a color wheel. The complementary colors are the ones across from each other. Fonts. When you are looking at how to design a logo, make sure you keep the number of fonts to no more than two. Any more than that, and the text can become difficult to read. You should also see what types of fonts go well together. Like colors, the fonts need to be complementary to each other. They also need to reflect your business. This goes back to those questions you answered earlier. What fonts make the most sense for how you want your business to be portrayed? Know where your logo will be displayed. Your logo is going to be displayed on all your marketing materials, which includes both web and print items. How your logo looks on the web versus in print can be very different. A logo that looks good on your website might not translate well to your promotional flyers. Next is balance, timelessness, and flexibility. The goal of your logo is to create something that will hold up well as time changes. However, we can't always predict how well as time changes. However, we can't always predict how trends will change. Correct? So don't be afraid to update or modify your logo as time goes by. Many successful businesses like Starbucks, Shell, Pepsi, and Apple have had several logo revisions over the years.